of our Yoga Restore series. If you experience sciatica or super tight hamstrings, maybe you have piriformis syndrome, which is a deep gluteal muscle. Even if you have some pain radiating down your leg, which would be sciatica and piriformis and not just tight muscles. I think that this series of stretches are really going to be good, could really be good for you and could really help. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a series of stretching that involves contracting the muscle and then stretching that, and then actually elongating and working on that muscle while we have a contraction going on. It's a very specific way of stretching, and I find it really, really powerful, and I think it could be really helpful. So you're going to need a strap, and you want to have 2 blocks. And it might help if you have a pillow. I have my yoga bolster here. There are some things that we're going to do where we're laying on our backs, and it's just comfortable to rest your head. You want to make sure that you're comfortable. A couple of rules are that you don't want to overstretch. Oftentimes when we just go into straight stretching, especially static stretching, which is not dynamic, it's not moving, it's where you hold a stretch, we tend to overstretch, which is something that we don't want to do here today. We want to just kind of work on our edge. I'm going to give you a lot of instruction. I give a lot of instruction because there's very particular things that you're going to do in order to have that light bulb moment and have that really amazing stretch. So hamstrings and glutes, we're basically going to work the posterior chain, and let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work specifically on the hamstrings, and I want to make sure that you are warm right now. You need to be all warmed up. Can't be first thing in the morning. I don't want your muscles to be cold. So you're going to take both of your blocks and you're going to put them on a high setting. And you're going to let's step the left foot through. So my left foot is right about in the block level. I'll move this 1 block so you can see it. My right knee is down and it's on the mat. And I'm going to lift my left toes, and I'm going to movement with each exercise, which we're going to call like a floss or a glide, this stretch. There's going to be a contraction or an engagement that I'm going to want you to do, and you're going to either be holding that engagement or coming on and off of it, and then you're going to be moving your body and sliding and gliding in order to do the stretch. So the focus is on the hamstrings. You're going to make sure that the blocks are actually not underneath your foot, but really underneath your hands, underneath your shoulders. You're going to lift the front toes, drag the heel down. Back toes can be curled or flat. I'm going to drag this heel back, and I'm going to shift my hips back, and then I'm going to come forward. We hear that snap, and I'm just going to come back. So I'm dragging this front foot forward, and I'm shifting my hip back. So you don't have to go back real far. You don't have to come forward too far, although it does feel good. On the right hip flexor, when the left foot is extended out in front. And you want to go nice and slow. So I'm pushing down with my heel and I'm dragging it back as my left glute slides back. I'm working on the hamstrings right now. So what we're doing is this technique is we're targeting the structural fascia, which is the connective tissue that's real deep. Let's switch sides. Let's put the right foot forward, left knee down. Press the right heel down and drag it towards the back of the mat. I'm going to do a little lunge forward and a little shift back. So we're targeting the connective tissue. We want to, by working with this elongation and this engagement, we're going to spread the tissue that's structural fascia that's real close to like the skeleton or the bone, and give it a chance to spread open and become healthier by hopefully getting rid of any adhesions or any sticky parts of that fascia. In turn, that's going to help us with our range of motion, and it's going to free up our muscles to be able to do more of a stretch when we ask it to do a stretch. So keep dragging the heel back, go back and forth, and go back and forth. Great. So step and stand and put your hands on your blocks. Your blocks have 3 heights. You have a long height, a medium height, and a low height. I'm going to go to a low height. I'm going to put the blocks right underneath my hands, and I'm going to do a forward fold. So bend your knees, press your hands down on your blocks, and then push down through your feet and lift through your hips. So light on the hands, push down real hard on your feet and lift up through your tailbone. And then just try to straighten your legs, but they don't have to be straightened all the way. The more you push down with your feet and lift through your tailbone, the more you're gonna feel this in your hamstrings. So a nice hamstring stretch here. You can bend your elbows, you can drag down, keep pushing down with your feet. You can even drag slightly in towards the middle, like you're hugging on ice, dragging your feet in towards each other and lift the tailbone. Great. Come down to your knees, come down to all fours, put the black blocks back on their high level. We're gonna do something like similar to runner's lunge, like when you're in yoga, your hands are gonna be inside. Step your left foot forward. I'm gonna put my blocks on the medium height. My left foot's forward, my right knee is down. My blocks are inside this front foot. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna drag the heel, push the heel into the mat and drag it towards the bottom of the mat. I'm actually gonna step my foot out. I want you to step this foot out pretty far over to the left. And I'm gonna drag and I'm gonna pull back this way. I'm gonna come forward and I'm gonna pull. And this is gonna hit a different part of the hamstring. So same thing, you come forward, drag the heel back. I'm gonna curl my back toes under just because it feels good and it's a nice stretch. Keep dragging the heel back, especially as you glide your hips towards your back heel. And you feel a nice big stretch through the hamstring. You can do as many as you want. Good to go nice and slow. Find your edge. And then let's switch sides. I'm gonna bring my right foot out, kind of to the side. It can be slightly at an angle. Hands on blocks, maybe the lower level. You can even put both of the blocks together. I'm gonna drag this heel, push this heel down and drag it back. I'm gonna lunge forward, hips back. Lunge forward, hips back. So my right side feels very different from my left side. I have a little bit of bursitis going on in my hip right now, so this is going to be really good for it. This is opening up the back of the leg with a very targeted, specific way of stretching and sliding and gliding. We're stretching the muscle, we're gliding and opening up the tissue with the pressure and the engagement as we elongate, with the connective tissue as we elongate the muscle. So go forward and back, and forward and back. Great, let's move on to the next exercise. You can do another forward fold and compare and see what your forward fold feels like. Remember, you press down hard with your feet, hug them in towards the midline, and then give me a nice forward fold. There's a micro bend in your knees. We're not stretching out the low back here with bent knees. I want nice straight legs. Push it down with your feet, lift through the tailbone. Great. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is pyramid pose, which is another pose that we do in yoga frequently. So this one might be familiar. So your hands are going to be on your blocks. Your left foot's going to be forward and your right foot is going to be back. And your legs are going to be straight. You're going to lift your front toes. I'll move the block out of the way. And you're going to be lifting and lowering this back heel. So here's what the movement's going to be. I'll show you in kind of a slower motion. And I'll move this block out of the way. I'm going to push down with this front heel and drag it back. And then I'm going to sit and lean back with this right glute back towards my right heel. And then I'm going to come up. And then I'm going to straighten the front leg, drag the heel back, and shift back into this back leg. So you can pop up onto the back toe. So you're sitting back and kind of popping back up. So drag the left heel back, the straight leg, bend the right knee. You can drop the heel, although it's a little bit harder on the calf, or you can keep your back heel lifted. So it's a pyramid pose. Try to keep your hips nice and straight. You don't have to step back, you don't have to go too far. Targeting the hamstrings again, roll your shoulder blades back. Great. And we will, let's stand up, or just kind of shift around, shift your hips left and right, do a little dance. And let's put the right foot forward, hands around the blocks underneath the shoulders. Lift the right toes, lift the back heel. Sink into the back, ball of the back foot, lowering the heel maybe just a little bit, but it's going to be hard. Your back knee is bent. Drag the front heel back and then come forward. And then come. Try to keep the front leg straight with a little micro bend. Drag the heel back and then let that go. And then drop the back foot. Lift the front toes, toes towards the knee. Drag the heel down and back. Big stretch. Big stretch. I'll turn this way so maybe you can see me better. Do as many as feels good. All targeting, great. Bring your feet together and just slowly stand to rise. All of these things are to work glutes, back of the hip, and targeting the hamstring. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is warrior 3. So our hands are going to be on our blocks. My feet are directly underneath my hips. And I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to bring it behind me and I'm going to bring my toes down to the mat. The right leg is going to stay straight. The left knee is going to bend and extend. My hands are on my blocks. I'm going to bend my left knee, tap my straight leg, right toes down, and I'm going to stand and lift to warrior 3. I'm going to straighten this left leg and I'm going to lift the right leg. Tap and lift, and tap and lift. Try and square the right hip. Don't open up out to the side like this. Bend and lift, and slow bend and lift. Slow bend in the left knee. Tap the right toes, straighten the right leg and lift. Great. Toes down, stand up. Let's do the other side. I'm going to turn around this way. Right foot is forward. Pretty close underneath my blocks. Hands are on my blocks. Blocks are on the tallest height. So remember, we're actually trying to get to the fascia. So we're going to bend the right knee and straighten the right knee. Bend and straighten. We're going to lift and lower the back leg. So bend the knees, tap the back toe, straighten the back leg and lift. Bend, tap, lift. Bend, tap, lift. Drive down through the front heel. You're going to feel this in the back of your right leg and the back of your left hip. Bend, tap, straighten. Bend, tap, straighten. Bend and straighten. Great. Bring your feet together, hands to hips, and slowly rise to stand. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a calf stretch without any props. So you're going to get a big, generous bend in your knees. You're going to get your belly right on your thighs. You're going to take your arms and you're going to bring them behind your calves. So my palms are on my ankles, my fingertips are on my heels, my forearms are on my calves. I'm going to bend my knees and look forward. Now the movement is pull in with your arms, pull in with your forearms, straighten your legs, and then look forward and let that go. Take a big inhale, pull with the forearms. There's your pressure. And the elongation is to lift the hips. Keep a belly to thigh connection. So engage the muscles, press back with your calves, pull forward with your arms, and then lift the hips. You can do a little micro bend in your knees. Keep pushing and pulling. Good. And then bring your hands to your hips and slowly rise to stand. Excellent. Let's grab your yoga strap. So we're going to do a traditional strap stretch. and we will add a nerve glide onto this. So for those of you that have sciatica, which the sciatic nerve goes from the low back through the hips and then runs down the back of both of the legs. When you have sciatica, you know it because you go to do a particular movement and the pain goes right down that sciatic nerve path. And we're going to work that. We're going to work that sciatic nerve path specifically, but let's first do our strap stretching. So you have a yoga strap or a karate belt or something like that. It can't be stretchy. You're going to put it on your heel. Here's the arch of my foot. No, I don't want that. I want you to put it on the heel of your foot, right like that. Okay? So you're going to lay flat, lay down. Left knee can be straight, can be bent, or it can be straight. Let's start with the knee bent and the left hip flat on the mat. Okay, so I don't want your head, neck, and shoulders lifted, and I don't want your arms to be bent. I want you to choke up on the strap so that your arms are straight, but your shoulders aren't lifted real far away from the mat. So hug your shoulder blades down to the mat, so squeeze your shoulders back. Grip the strap so that your arms are straight, and then I want you to find a straight leg. So maybe your straight leg is here. Maybe your straight leg is down here. My straight leg is right about here. Keep that strap on your heel. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a bend and a straighten, tiny bend, big straighten, bend and straighten. And this is where you could put a little pillow underneath your head if you have a bad neck or if it would make you feel more comfortable. Pull your belly button down to the spine. Bend and straighten. Okay, so from here I want you to flex your toes towards your nose. That's called dorsiflexion. And I want you to look at your toes. Hopefully you're barefoot. I want you to line the third toe up with your shin bone because we often rotate our foot out to the side. That's the path of least resistance. It's where the body a lot of times wants to go, especially when we're tight. I want you to press with the base of the big toe and pull the pinky toe part of your foot towards you so that your foot is flat. So now we're just going to hold here, draw your shoulder blades back, belly down into the mat. And I want you to pull up, toes towards the nose, pull down with your strap and push up through your heel. You should feel a nice big stretch on your hamstring. And maybe you're down here, that's okay. It doesn't make a difference. Wherever your flexibility is, draw those shoulder blades back, push through the heel, pull with your hands. That's why we want to have straight arms here, because we want to be able to do that push-pull sensation. So there's your hamstring stretch. Now we're going to go and we're going to bring the leg out to the side. So you're going to take this right foot and you're going to dial your heel in and your toes out. And you're going to hold on to the strap with your right hand and extend the left leg long. Drive your heel down onto the mat and put your left hand on top of your left hip or your hip flexor, top of your quad. You're going to find that straight leg just like we did before. Bend and extend, bend and extend. When you find the straightest leg you can, you're going to start opening it out to the side. But I'm thinking about bringing my toes up towards the top of my mat and out, not just out like this. That's not what we want to do here. We want to pull down on the strap, push up through our heel, toes towards the knee, and open it up like a Y. You can bend your elbow to do that and hold this left hip down. And hold, open, open, open. And then come back to the center. That's external rotation. Now we're going to do internal rotation. We're not going to dial the toes in. I want you to find that nice flat foot. Flex toes towards nose. I'm going to dial this down just a little bit because my hamstring's getting tired. Nice flat foot. Line the middle toe up with your shin bone and then just slide that leg over to the left. You shouldn't be able to go any further than this left shoulder. If you can go way far over, then you need to find the furthest stretch of the hamstring first, and then just slide a little bit over to the left. And then go back to the center. And then slide a little bit over to the left. That's a nice stretch for the IT band that's going to help a lot with the sciatic issue, if you have a sciatic issue. You can put your thumb, like a hitchhiker thumb, right here in the crease of your right hip. And you can push out and down to hold that hip down, and maybe you can get a little bit more range of motion. Press to the base of the big toe. Nice flat foot. Pinky is kind of pulling a little bit toward you, but press that hip down with the right thumb. Great, let's go to the other side. Left heel is in the strap. Your right knee can be bent, or it can be, or your right leg can be extended. First, I want you to do some bends and extends. Bend and extend, bend and extend. Kind of move around. Okay, then we plug the shoulder blades into the mat. We have a nice long arm holding onto our strap. Dial the toes, pull the toes towards the nose, dorsiflexion. Push through the heel, pull on your strap with your hands. It should feel good. Now play around here and just pull think about the toes going up over the top of your head. Let's do a nice hamstring stretch. It's not going to the right, it's not going to the left. Your heel isn't in, it's not out, your toes aren't rotated, your foot is perfectly flat. So toes over the head. Keep pulling and pulling and pulling. Great, and come back. Put the strap in the left hand. Externally rotate your toes. Toes to the left, heel to the midline. Keep the strap on your heel. When the strap comes up with your heel, when you do the pressure up with your heel and pull with your strap, you just aren't going to feel that in your hip as much as if it's in a good location. Right hand is on the hip. So first I'm going to bring my toes over towards the top of my head with a straight leg and a tiny micro bend, and then I'm going to start opening out to the side. I'm going to choke up a little bit on the strap, and I'm going to keep flexing the toes towards the nose. And I'm going to go out into like a Y position. Relax the torso. There's a nice big stretch. And then come back to the center. Put the strap in your right hand, find your hitchhiker thumb with the left thumb, stick it in the top right underneath your hip bone, press out and down. We're gonna trap that hip down. Now find a flat foot. I need to press with the base of my big toe, bring my pinky toe towards me, and I'm gonna come towards my face, dorsiflex, reach through the heel, pull with the strap, and I'm gonna slide a little bit over to the left. So you can make a box shape here. You can go on and off of this stretch, or you can just hold the stretch, relax your shoulders. Keep your eye on that middle toe. Oh, that pinky toe is gonna wanna push away from you, don't let it. And then use your bicep to pull your foot a little bit closer up towards the top of your head and come across the body. No further than your shoulder. If you're going further than your shoulder, then you need to start and you need to bring your foot over more towards the top of your head and then over to the right. Okay, great. All right, great. Let's put our feet down and do a couple rounds of bridge. So we're gonna do bridge. Bend your elbows. Drive the backs of your arms and your elbows into the mat so you have a nice broad chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now tuck your tailbone and imprint your low back so that if I were to come over there, I wouldn't be able to put my hand underneath your low back. Okay, stay right like that. Don't let your knees cave in, and then slowly lift up into bridge. And lower. Tap your tailbone, and then lift. Don't let your back arch, and then lower. Let's do that again. Tuck your tailbone, engage your low abs like you're getting ready to do a crunch, or like if you pick your feet up on the floor, off the floor, you'll feel your low back connect. Keep that connection right there. Now lift up into bridge. Let's hold it up there. Tuck your tailbone and get a little bit more of a lift. Tuck your tailbone, scoop your belly again, give me a little bit more of a lift. And then break. Okay, and relax. Okay, we're gonna do a specific sciatic nerve glide right now. So what you're gonna wanna do is interlace your hands behind your right hamstring, head, neck, and shoulders are down. This might be an opportunity to take a pillow or like I have this bolster here, and it's not underneath my shoulders, but it's underneath the back of my head. Don't put the bolster underneath your shoulders. My left knee is bent, I've interlaced my hands behind my right hamstring. We're gonna bend and extend. So we just did a little bit of this with the strap. If this is hard for you, you're gonna take a strap and you're gonna put it behind your hamstring, and you're gonna hold your hamstring, you're gonna hold your strap here if your hands can't reach. I don't want you to hike up and bring your head, neck, and shoulders up in order to do this. Actually, I was wrong. Take the pillow up from underneath your head, because that's gonna take part of this flossing gliding, this sciatic nerve gliding. It's gonna take it out of the equation. Okay, bend and extend. Bend and extend the knee. Now I want you to straighten the leg and bring toes towards the nose. Reach through your heel and then point your toes up and then bend your knee. Straighten your leg, toes to the nose, toes to the sky, bend your knee. And I'm pushing my leg away from me so that I have a nice strong grip on my arms are pretty straight. Now, straighten your leg, flex toes towards the nose, and now I'm just gonna lift up my chin a little bit to bring it to my chest. Head down, knee bends. Straighten leg, flex toes to the nose. Just think about bringing your chin slightly to your chest and then bringing your head down and then bend your knee. You can keep your ankle dorsiflexed the whole time. Toes to the nose, bend, extend, little chin tuck. It's not a huge neck lift, right? Don't think about bringing when your leg is extended, don't think about picking your head up off the mat. Think about bringing your chin to your chest and then bringing it back down. It's just elongating that sciatic nerve that much more. So do a couple more. Make sure you're breathing. Great, and then we'll switch sides. The right knee's bent, the right foot is flat. I think you could do this with straight leg too. But I think it's a little bit more comfortable with the knee bent, the foot flat on the floor. Interlace your hands behind your left hamstring and bend and extend. Remember, you can do this bending and extending in dorsiflexion with your toes towards your nose. And look at the foot. Where's that middle toe? We like to externally rotate that ankle, and we don't want to do that. We want to keep the foot nice and flat. Okay. All right, so everybody start with a bent knee, straighten the leg, flex toes towards the nose, toes to the sky, bend, extend, dorsiflex, toes to the nose, bend. Now we're going to add the additional glide if this isn't painful, if it's not putting too much pain on your sciatic nerve. Toes to the nose, little chin tuck, head down, knee bends, leg extends, toes to the nose, little chin tuck. Oh, I really feel it on this side because I've been practicing so much on the other side. I've been working with a friend who has sciatica, and I keep doing this on one side. Okay, so roll to one side, come to a seated position. I'm going to show you how to do that sciatic nerve glide if you are in a seated position. So if you're sitting at your desk at work, or you're in kind of in a spot where you're not going to be able to lay down on the floor, because you could do this sciatic nerve glide a couple times a day. You don't want to do 100 of them or anything, but you can do a few of them, like maybe 10 of them, 10 at a time. So you want to sit nice and tall. Let's say you're at work. You interlace your hands behind your right hamstring. Your feet are right there underneath your knee. You're going to extend your leg, toes to the nose, chin to the chest. And you can even just pull your shoulder blades back. Extend the leg, chin to the chest. And you don't want to go too fast. We'll do a couple on the other side. Right foot is down. Extend, toes to the nose. Bend, bend, extend. And then we just want to we're lengthening and shortening that sciatic nerve. What we're hoping, we're gliding and flossing it. What we're hoping is that if it's got an adhesion or it's stuck somewhere, then maybe some of this gliding and this flossing will unstuck that adhesion and give you some relief. Okay, let's go and work on the glutes. So let's see what we've got for glutes. Okay, we're going to do figure 4 two ways and a right angle stretch and a high pigeon. Okay, so you're going to be on your back, and this is one of those instances where you can rest your head on a little pillow if you want to. So we're going to do figure 4 two ways. So let's start on the right side. Right ankle on top of the left knee, below the left knee, on top of the bottom, just below the knee. So what we're going to do is, and you might want to have a strap here if you can't reach behind and grab this hamstring. Elevating your head is going to help you be able to reach back and grab your hamstring. You're going to kick your right foot into this left leg. Just by kicking, I feel the whole outer part of my right hip on fire. So I'm engaging all these muscles right here. I'm going to engage them and I'm going to stretch them. So now I'm going to pick up my left foot, bring my hands behind my hamstring, and as I kick this foot into this knee, I'm going to bring this left knee in towards my shoulder, and then I'm going to release. I'm going to kick into the leg, pull my knee in, and I can release the kick when you release back out. All I'm doing is bending and extending my elbows. And that's how I'm bringing the leg in. So if you have a strap, your strap is behind your hamstring, and you're holding on, and you're going to kick, and you're going to bring it in, and you're going to release. So keep pressing the ankle into the leg, pull the knee in, and your option is to curl up into a ball at the top and then put the head back down. A much bigger movement than what we just did. Kick, pull it in, round the chin to the chest and curl up into a little ball. So kick away, pull it in, curl up into a ball and release. And you should feel that on the right side of this hip right here. Okay, let's do the other side. Right foot is down, left ankle is on top of the right thigh. You don't have to dorsiflex the foot. I mean, you could dorsiflex the foot if you want, but you don't really need to at this point. So kick this ankle into this knee. Keep that engagement, right? So we're gonna engage the muscle. You should feel it around on the outside of your left hip. Now we're gonna elongate the muscle. So pick up the foot, interlace behind the hamstring. Kicking away, pull the knee in and release. Kick away, pull in, release. Kick away, pull in, release. Now we're going to add the curl up. Kick away, curl, and release. Kick away. So what are we doing? We're targeting the deep fascia. When we foam roll and we use therapy balls, we're working on the superficial fascia, the fascia that's right underneath the skin, that's more towards the more accessible with manual manipulation. This is the deepest line of fascia that we have. And this is what we're working on, to try to spread it out and make it healthier and get our muscles to be able to work into their range of motion. Okay, so we're going to do another figure four. Well, actually, let's take a break, and then we're going to do figure four a second way. Stand up, grab your blocks, put them on your mat right in front of you. You can put both hands on your mat, on your blocks, and you're going to step your feet out into a wide angle forward fold, or a single leg stretching in yoga. Your toes are going to face forward. I want you to drag and squeegee your feet in towards the midline, and then bend one knee and come up and straighten both legs. Press down with your feet, pull them in towards the midline, and then bend one knee, and then come back up. You have a nice flat back. I'll turn sideways so you can see. Squeegee in, butt goes straight back. Pull your shin back, pull your knees back. I'm drawing my feet down and I'm pulling them in towards the midline. And you can kind of cruise around back and forth. Start up, squeeze in, and stretch. And stretch. This is a nice inner thigh stretch. Okay, put your blocks off to the side. Let's do the second way in the figure four setup. Only we're going to do things a little bit differently. Put your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Take your hands, bring your right knee into you, interlace your fingers and bring it to the outer part of your right knee. What the movement is, the engagement is going to be press your knee away into your hands. The movement is going to be pull your knee in across your body towards your left shoulder. So press away with your knee, keep the pressure, counter pressure, pull. Now release all of that and start your starting point again. Press away, arms are straight, keep pressing, pulling, and drag. So again, we're working this time we're working the lateral hip, push and pull, nothing too crazy, and you can roll up into a ball. You can bring your chin to your chest if you want. So you don't have to push-pull the whole time. You just want to kick your knee away and pull with your hands from the starting position when your arms are long. Their ankle isn't pressing into the leg, but it's probably going to press there anyway, just for traction. Okay, that felt good. Let's do the other side. Left ankle, right knee is bent, right foot is flat, left ankle, somewhere here below the knee, interlace the hands behind this knee, and this is where if you prop yourself up and put yourself on a pillow, it's going to be easier for you to grab here. Kick away with the knee, drag across the body. Release it and start over. Kick away with your knee, pull with your hands across the body. This is good because it also stretches, and this style of stretching and this fascia flow stretching is strengthening and stretching at the same time, which I really like. Let's do a couple more. Just go to your edge. Don't do anything too crazy. Great. And then let's go on to the next exercise. So the next exercise is going to be a high pigeon, and it's going to be a movement where you're going to come to all fours, put your blocks at the top of the mat. Bring your right knee behind your right wrist, and then swing your right foot over so it's somewhere between your left hand and your left knee. And then take your blocks. You can put them on the high, the medium, the low setting, and they're going to be underneath your shoulders, and your left leg is going to be straight behind you. You want to stay in a nice high pigeon. You want to take this front leg, and you're going to press from your knee through your shin to the top of your foot. You're going to press down, right? You're going to feel this whole outer hip engage. And then what I want you to do is, with a flat back, bend your elbows and dip your heart, and you'll feel a stretch right here in this outer. But you have to kick down. Kick down with the shin, bend the elbows, and feel the stretch that goes all the way up the back of this glute. Really good. Maybe we can hit the piriformis here. That's that deep glute muscle. Kick down with the shin, the top of the foot and the knee, bend the elbows, and let your heart just dip down. Kick down, kick away, kick away, kick it away, kick it away. Bend the elbows, and then you can release that. And then let's switch sides. Hands down. Actually, let's go to downward facing dog. Lift your hips, roll over your toes. Let's find a nice downward facing dog. Give me a nice sway side to side. Bend one knee, cross, cross. Let's stretch it out. Do anything you like in down dog here. Spread your fingers wide. You can lift up high in your toes, lift and lower. Good, and then come back down to all fours. Let's do the other side. So bring your left knee behind your left wrist from tabletop, and then swing your left foot over. But I want you to stay in a nice high pigeon. So bring your hands underneath your shoulders. And you're gonna have to move the blocks around forward so that you can play around with it and get them into a position where you can really feel the stretch. Don't open this right hip. Keep this right hip closed. Look over your right shoulder. Make sure your toes are facing straight back. Push down from the right knee to the top of the the left foot, the one that's in front. Press your shin down, and then dip down, and then lift. Press, so engage the front leg, engaging the outer hip, and then bend. You can bring the blocks forward. You can bring the blocks right underneath your arms. And you just see what feels good there and which of the stretches feel good. So do a couple more of those. So remember, you have to kick down with the front shin and knee, and then you have to move the body to lengthen and shorten through the muscles. That's the style of stretching that we're doing today. We're working fascia and stretching muscles at the same time. Great. Okay, so let's do one last stretch, and we're just going to do the inner thigh just because I like it so much and it's a great exercise. So you're going to be on your knees. You're going to turn sideways on your mat. You're going to have your blocks if you need them. Maybe blocks on the lowest height. And extend your right leg out to the side. Curl your back toes under. Maybe I'll turn sideways so you can kind of see me. Get up there. Well, no, I'll start forward. Okay, so this leg is an extension of my hip. My toes are facing forward. I'm going to push down with this foot and I'm going to drag it towards the midline. My back toes are curled under. They're directly behind my knee. My hands are on my hips. My back is flat, belly to the spine. I'm going to drag this foot in and I'm going to sit my left hip back towards my left heel. Press down, drag it in. Straight leg. Scoot back. I'm going to turn sideways. Maybe this will help. Knee is under the hip. Toes curled under. You can take your hands and press them down and back. They can be on the mat. Squeegee this right foot down. Drag it to the midline. Left hip, left heel. And then come forward. Pull it in. Drag it. Left hip. Back to the left heel. You should feel a nice big opening through the front, to the inside of your adductors on the right leg. Let's switch sides. So a lot of times when we have glute and extend the left leg, toes face forward, press the foot down, drag it to the midline. The right toes are curled, hands are directly underneath the shoulders or they're on a block. Press down, drag it in, pull. Right hip, right heel. We want to work all parts of our hip to try to release tight glutes and tight hamstrings. You can't just focus on your hamstrings. You have to do, you got to focus on your calves, you got to focus on your glutes, you got to focus on the hips, because everything is connected. So nice and slow. Shift forward and shift back. And shift forward and shift back. Great, let's do one more twist. In yoga, we call this spinal twisting. There's a big, long Sanskrit name for it. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna extend the left leg long. We're gonna bring the right foot up and over. Okay? Let me turn this way. My right foot is flat on the floor, flat on the mat. And it's about a 45-degree angle. My toes are in line with my ankle, ankle's in line with my knee. I'm going to hug my left knee in, right? And I'm going to bring my right hand to the base of my spine. I'm going to reach through this heel, toes, front left toes towards the knee. I'm going to lean forward, get a belly to thigh connection. And then I'm going to twist my shoulders but keep my belly button facing forward. I'm going to take my elbow and pull my right knee to the left. And I'm going to walk my back hand as far back as possible and off to the side. Leaning forward, heart forward, chin back twist. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Now press down through this foot that's over here on the left side on your inhales. Keep pressing with the base of the big toe and twist. And keep pulling this knee over. Pulling this front knee over is going to stretch out the outer hip on this side. Okay, let's do the other side. Right leg is long. We're almost done. Left foot is up and over. Now, the reason I get particular about this is you see a lot of people roll to the pinky edge of their foot when they're doing this stretch. And that means that you're not going to elongate and you're not going to stretch through the back of this hip. Not nearly as much. Take your right arm, hug that knee in. Get a belly to thigh connection. Stamp down with this foot and keep pressing with the base of the big toe. Keep that pressure. Put the left hand behind to pop up onto your fingers. Lean forward. Push with the left foot. Take a nice big inhale. Now crank that knee over to the right as you twist. Keep the belly forward, shoulders twist. Step down with the foot. Nice and easy. Nothing too crazy. But to make the stretch more, keep pulling that knee over to the right. And walk this left hand over to the right. Belly forward, twist, twist. Great. And we are done. So hopefully that loosens up your glutes and will help you with your hamstrings. And if you have some low back or sciatica or piriformis pain, and specifically I gave you some sciatic nerve glide work to do today if you have that sciatic pain running down either one of your legs. So thank you very much. Thanks for joining me. Check out all the other videos on YouTube. I'm trying to do real specific targeted yoga restore videos to help you with a particular area that you want to work on. Thanks a lot.